Alright, things are tensing up here. This is now round 10, I believe. Yeah, this is around 10. I just started off the day with 2 wins. Just beat a control deck in the form of Nip Miss It, hoping to not play against more control, but no. This round, I am paired up against Noah Ma, former Rivals player. He might still be in Rivals, actually, I think, from Korea. And is on Jeskai control with the Torrential Gear Half Mythic's Mastery version. Yeah, definitely not happy to see this matchup. It's probably, 30%-ish matchup, if I'd had to guess. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot, main thing is that there's just so much interaction. So it's really hard to stick the combo together, and then stick your synergies together. They can kind of just leave you with your life gain effects, but at least if you can sneak a Heliod in play, they don't have many answers to it, so that's something. This version also has the out of just winning on turn 3 with the Magma Opus plus Mystic's Mastery combo, so that's something to look out for. One thing to note though is that this deck doesn't have Wrath of God, so if I manage to go off, if I do manage to assemble the combo, which is sometimes that's my game plan in these matchups, just hoping to get lucky with the combo, my opponent can't actually beat it, because they can Anger of the Gods, but then they just die to my Giant Scurry Oak, and it doesn't die to Portable Hole, doesn't die to Lightning Helix, doesn't die to Justice Strike. So they have to have very specifically 7 mana and go Anger of the Gods plus Cast Out, or have a Seferi in play or something like that. Or maybe they can do stuff with Mystic's Mastery, probably not. Because again, they need to sweep all the squirrels as well, so they're really limited in what they can do after a combo. And that's not to speak of if I have a Trilocera or Voice in play as well. Maybe I just kill them outright when I go off. So yeah, that's basically the plan. Either try and threat diversity or try and get lucky with the combo. Usually the combo works a little bit better, but neither plan is particularly likely to work. Post-board, they're going to bring in a little bit more removal, and notably Seal Away and Containment Priest. Containment Priest can stop the Collector Company, so I assume it comes in this matchup. I think that's actually pretty good if you can... It doesn't stop the combo itself because it says non-token creature, so I still get to get squirrels and do my thing. But stopping Collector Company is kind of a big deal. And so I have to be aware of that. And yeah, just the 1 Seal Away, just... as some piece of interaction. But anyway, that's the deck, that's the matchup. Let's see how it plays out here. Alright, I do win the die roll. That's a good start. And my hand is a little bit land heavy. You don't want 4 lands in this deck, but having 1 drop into 2 drop is about what you can ask for. That is what you want out of your opener. And we draw a Heliod. Okay, so now we are cooking with gas. Maybe this can turn into a win. Actually, the thing about Heliod, they can still deal with it with Archmage's Charm, so I really have to just play it this turn. They have no other ways to counter it right now, so I think that my game plan here is just to slam the Heliod. I decided to shock myself with Temple Garden because I don't know which way I want to put my pathway. Maybe I draw another double white spell next turn. This leaves me a little bit vulnerable to anger. Oh no, okay, so they have the Magma Opus, so I'm ready here with the good games, if they're gonna go Mastery here. And, because then I did clear my board and get the 4. Alright, they did clear my board. It was just an anger, but now we drew another land, and this draw is looking not very good. At least they don't have a 4/4 and drew 2 cards, so that's something. But a lot is gonna have to happen here for me to win this game already. You can kind of see, obviously, drawing a couple lands from my 4-land opener, which is already a pretty land-heavy hand in my 3 draw steps. Is okay. Well, now we drew a banger here. So they actually do have Archmage's Charm up, but they don't really. Hold on, let me pause here actually, because I do actually have a line. I can play the Ranger Captain pre-combat, and usually what I want to search up here is the Selfless Savior, but it's not necessary to because I don't have a Soul Sister either. So maybe it's better to search up a Soul Warden or Luminarch Veteran. However, there's also the thing where I kind of want my opponent to spend their mana so they can't Archmage's Charm my Ranger Captain, because it's really my best tool right now. But also maybe like, even just something like Lightning Helix. If they Lightning Helix my Ranger Captain, that's also like not very good for me, because I really need that stability. Like they're working towards a Torrential Gearhulk, so if I get to stick a Ranger Captain in play, I can kind of counter their Magma Opus with it. So that's also a really big part of a game plan here. So I actually decide to try and bait them into using removal here by attacking with Voice and giving it lifelink. Healer's ability to give lifelink to your creatures actually comes up a lot in these interactive decks, because you don't really need, you obviously need a Soul Sister in play for the combo, but you don't need it in play to just like build some battlefield here. And if I give this Voice lifelink and it goes through, then it gets to be a 4/4. It's actually huge, because that gets it out of range of Anger of the Gods and Lightning Helix. So 4 and 4 is like a really big number here. And there's Ranger Captain, if it resolves, will also animate my Heliod. So that's the argument for playing Ranger Captain pre-combat, is that it would animate my Heliod and I get to attack for more. But then again, if they go Lightning Helix on my Ranger Captain, I'm not sure if I'm too happy with that compared to if they just kill my Voice here. Do decide to try and pump up the Voice and get 2 counters, and they have no response. Okay, suspicious, but let's see if this gets countered. Oh, okay, it does not. Neat. So now I get to search up probably Selfless Savior, but maybe I still need the life gain. There's also the thing where like if you get to keep Ranger Captain in play, that's like the easiest way for you to establish the combo, because then you can just if you get a Soul Bond into hand now and you just go next turn and sacrifice the Ranger Captain. Oh, sorry. If you end up whenever you draw Scurry Oak and you have the Soul Bond in hand that you search up with Ranger Captain, you can just sacrifice it on your turn. Since they can't deal with Heliod really, except for the 1 cast out, they will just die. As I said, like, it's really hard for them to actually beat the combo. So that's why, even though the control deck is usually good at like dismantling creature-based combo decks, Ranger Captain does give you an out to actually win with the combo. And I think that's a really big reason of why it adds a lot to the deck. It's just like the amount of disruption you can have against the control deck actually changes it so that you have a chance. If you're playing the deck with just 4 Skyclaves main, your control matchup just gets even worse. And I decided to go for the Soul Warden just to keep my ability to combo alive and the ability to put counters on. I could also have gone for Luminous Veteran, but since usually that's better against control, but since this deck actually has some creatures, I figured, and I have a Heliod in play, I figured that the extra points of life gain I could potentially get is worth more. So, okay, this got a second Magma Opus, so I'm really thinking that this is a Gearhulk turn. But yeah, at least they just start by passing. Alright, that's something. Reduce Scurry Oak. That's a pretty big game. So now I sacrifice Ranger Captain. If there's no cast out, please. They might go Torrential Gearhulk and kill the Voice, but that's okay, because I can just play my things. They don't even play the Torrential Gearhulk. So now I'm just free to play my Soul Warden, play my Scurry Oak. Even Torrential Gearhulk doesn't do anything here, because they won't be able to flashback the Magma Opus. And I'm just going to grow my Voice of the Blessed large enough to just kill them right now. And they can't do anything about it. So, yeah, that's really the power of Ranger Captain. Like, I played on the Heliod on turn 3, and I was under play, so that just resolved. And then I managed to resolve the Ranger Captain. And then I drew Scurry Oak. Like, that's the, the 3-step process, basically. And since the Ranger Captain already searches up a Soul Warden, and most importantly, puts it in your hand where it's safe. Because this is definitely a matchup where you pretty often trying to sandbag your Soul Warden. Obviously, like here, I had Wonder Winter 2-drop, so I was just going to play it out. But in a lot of other cases, you might just hold it. If you think that the opponent has the ability to kill it. So yeah, I'm going to do this for probably not much longer. As the Voice of the Blessed is already very lethal. And even if I didn't have this Voice of the Blessed in play, or if they went like Torrential Gearhulk, try and kill it, they still wouldn't actually be able to win here. Because, yeah, they can anger, but they still can't answer my Scurry Oak. Just the strike doesn't work. So I guess they would be able to jump block with their Gearhulk, and then like maybe play another Gearhulk later and tap it down with Magma Opus, and then maybe win that way. But I'm also at such a high life total that that wouldn't really be the case. But anyway, I don't actually have to worry here. They don't have main deck Shark Typhoon. They just take the damage here and die. So, alright. Getting game 1 here is pretty exciting. Like, now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can do this. I'm boarding in my extra threats. I'm boarding in my my Gideon and my Ajanis, like some extra planeswalkers, can take out Skyclave Apparition. I also think I want to bring in Rest in Peace. And you can definitely trim on some Soul Wardens because you have the Ranger Captain to go get additional copies anyway. And you also trim a little bit on Scurry Oaks. Because even though the combo is really good, you only need one and you'll always keep it in hand. And like just playing it out is pretty bad. And the combo is not really your main game plan game 2 and 3. Because then you have threat diversity and you have your Planeswalkers, you have more 2-drops. Like you can actually reasonably beat them without the combo. So I think that it is correct to shave on it, but still leaving some pieces I think is fine. Gives you that out at least. And since I'm on the draw, I'm also going to cut a land here. Alright. Did I end up bringing the Rest in Peace? I actually didn't notice, but maybe you did if you have a keen eye. Anyway, not keeping a 5-lander. Here we have a really nice 6er actually, because I obviously shipping a Giant to the bottom. Well, I mean, I'd like to have my anti-control tool, but this hand just has the entire combo. And I drew a Trelasera, so now it's really up to the races. The Trelasera is especially important because it can get the opponent to, it can kind of be a distraction. So the opponent will use their Lightning Helix or Unholy Heat on it. And yeah, that's exactly what happens here. Alright, so Trelasera died so that Scurry Oak could live, but that's, really fine. If my opponent plays like an Expressive Iteration here, I'm really happy. I get to just resolve a Heliod. And now, then the Scurry Oak becomes a giant threat. Right, opponent passes with Archmage Charm mana up. That means I'm just not going to run in Heliod into this mana, so I'm going to bait here with a Ranger Captain of Eos. Searching up a Selfless Savior to protect even further. So they did not have Archmage Charm, or they at least decided not to use it. They just cycle Triumph. Okay, that's odd. And maybe they think that the Ranger Captain was not worth a counterspell, but it's interesting. And now the Expressive Iteration. So now we actually get an opportunity to resolve this Heliod. And that is a very big game. So I'm not really sure what's going on in their hand. And they pass with this mana up. So not even Lightning Helix up. And at this point, I realize, wait, hold on. Yeah, I can... It doesn't actually matter which order I play my things in because, they don't have Lightning Helix up. But what they do have up here is actually, they can make a treasure with Magma Opus, or they have, what's it called? The Seal Away. So that's exile, an enchantment that comes into play with Flash and exiles a tapped creature. So normally here I would just get in with the Ranger Captain. But I realize here, by the way, it doesn't matter which order I play my Selfless Savior or Heliod in, because it's going to be exactly one trigger anyway. The Selfless Savior means that the Heliod is active. I decide I'm not going to attack here, because this Ranger Captain right now is what's going to secure me the win next turn, because I can just sacrifice it and just play my Scurry Oak and win the game. So the fact that they didn't do anything these turns, that draw has been kind of weird, I think means that they might have kept a card like Seal Away in their hand, and then just not been able to cast it. Because I didn't provide them with a tap creature. And I'm gonna continue to not provide them with a tap creature then. There is one thing I'm missing here though, is actually, if I sacrifice the Ranger Captain now, they can go Archmage's Charm and steal my Ajani's Welcome. So that's something to be aware of. So actually, I thought I had the combo locked up, but then I realized, no, I don't actually. But even then, they don't have, they can't cast Anger here, and they're just forced to pass, and basically they have to have Archmage's Charm here to win. So I'm definitely gonna try and go for it, because if they don't have that, then I just win the game. Guess they could also have Castaway. But this Collect the Company means that I can even respond if they go for a Charm or a Castaway in response to my things. So the thing is here though, how do I sequence this? Because ideally, I'm thinking, okay, well, so what if they have Archmage's Charm? What is the optimal line here? I decided I don't want... I can actually attack freely with Ranger Captain and Selfless Savior, because if they have the Seal Away here, that doesn't matter. I was planning to sacrifice the Ranger Captain anyway. But I don't want to expose my Heliod. I think there's a flaw in my logic here, because if they go Seal Away targeting Heliod, I just sacrifice my Ranger Captain in response. And the Heliod stops being a creature, and then Seal Away can't target it. So that's actually a flaw on my part here, and I'm actually pretty safe to just attack with all 3 creatures here. And while not attacking with Ranger Captain last turn, I think is okay. Giving up that damage also matters a lot, because ideally you would like to pressure their life total while you set up the combo, so that they're forced to react at some point and tap out, and then you can resolve the combo and win. That's essentially how I want it to play out. And it's really hard to do if you just never attack them because you're really afraid of seal away. I think last turn I am correct not to attack them because that's just because they like had the mana open, but also because their draw seemed kind of weird. And when your opponent's draw seemed kind of weird, they might have one of their weird cards in hand. And I figured that the Ranger Captain was actually really important for like setting up my win here. So I think favoring it last time was pretty good, but here I should have realized that my Heater is actually still safe from seal away because I can just sacrifice something on board to stop the devotion. Anyway, I don't realize that here, and I just attack with my Ranger Captain and my Selfless Savior. Still getting in some damage, and then like I just plan to combo post combat. Like there's no reason to do it pre combat really. And again, if they don't have the Archmage Charm, or he doesn't think about using it on my Ajani's Welcome, you know, Noah Ma is a pretty good player, so I'm expecting that he will, but you can never know for sure. So yeah, getting in with those. Should have gotten in with Healer too. Like, attacking for 10 here is actually a pretty big deal, and if the opponent blinks, like, they might just die, so. Anyway, that's not what happens. Go to 15, and I'm gonna sacrifice my Ranger Captain. Obviously, this really tips Noah that I have the combo in hand, right? Because otherwise, you know, why would I do that right now? And yeah, if he does have the Archmage's Charm, it kind of sucks, but it's actually fine, because now I get to respond with a Collected Company. And if I hit the last Scurry Oak, that's really good. Not too likely for that to happen, but even hitting like other, you know, life gain payoffs is really good here. And since he can't counter this company now, I will say though, I was talking about like the weird creatures, or like the weird things. He could actually have a Containment Priest here. I think he would have cast it when he had 2 mana up, instead of trying to really get my Collector Company. But I can't be too sure. I just thought that it was worth it to play into it here, because yeah, I figured it's more likely that he cast it. But that was another one of the cards that he could actually have when he left up the 2 mana last turn. Anyway, we don't hit the combo, kind of as expected. I only have 1 Scurry Oak left, but I do hit a Trillasara and a Lunak Veteran, so I still get to, even though I'm gonna lose my Gianni's Welcome, I'm still gonna get to have a pretty big board, and I'm gonna get so much life here that I can turn the Lunak Veteran into 4 toughness, I think. Yeah, I have 3 life gain triggers, so I can make the Lunak Veteran a 4/4, and Trillasara is going to be a 5/5. So again, I'm just protecting myself from Anger of the Gods. Plus I get to Scry, which is neat. The Selfless Savior just helped it, like, mean that he can't like Lightning Helix anything. Not that I think he has Lightning Helix, because he would have used it, but anyway, now Noah has the Ajani's Welcome in play. No Magma Opus in the graveyard either. So the Gearhulk is not too scary. It is gonna start gaining him life though, but that's okay. But I do have to be aware that like a Gearhulk here would mean that I can't just jam out my Scurry Oak, because it would be like Gearhulk, Archmage's Charm. And that's not the best spot for me. So I'm gonna try and still pace my play and pick the right spot to do things. Alright, so shocking with Sacred Foundry. So I'm thinking this means Gearhulk, but maybe not. The thing is actually, like, if he does, I can just attack freely into the Gearhulk here. And if he plays it, then I just make my Lunar Veteran indestructible and play my Scurry Oak and win the game. So he realizes that he can't do that, and that he just has to play Anger just to get rid of my Selfless Savior. Which, you know, tips me off to like, that's a pretty odd line. Like, what do you have here? And he just passes, he doesn't even have like anything else. So I'm a little bit confused here. I don't think he has Delirium at this point, so it can't be Unholy Heat. He has 1 copy of Justice Strike, which can kill the Lunar Veteran. So I'm thinking it's probably that, but it could also be Archmage's Charm. Because I think using the Anger that way and having an Archmage's Charm is an okay line. And Archmage's Charm can actually steal my Lunar Veteran here, so making it a 4/4 does have some downside. I draw Gideon though, and Gideon actually means that I get to put on a ton of pressure. And if his hand is the Justice Strike, then like he would do that in response and kill my Lunar Veteran. Healer wouldn't be alive then, but I still get to get in with Trillasara and like have this additional threat. So really like to see Gideon here. And I decided to jam that instead of Scurry Oak because I do expect that my Lunar Veteran is dead here, or that there is a counterspell. Well, I guess the counterspell also kills my veteran because it's just gonna steal it instead of countering the Skuriok, which I think would be a really bad spot for me. At least this way I get to have a Gideon if he goes to steal my veteran. Or he can counter it and leave me with like this 9 power board. You can by the way see the 5 damage I missed earlier by not attacking with Heliod into the seal away, where I didn't realize that, you know, I could just stop a seal away anyway. Actually it's costing me here because if he's at 8 life, it's much scarier spot. I do resolve the the Gideon, and Gideon has this knife ability to give lifelink, so it actually kind of works with the strategy too. And it counts as a creature, so it will trigger your Soul Warden effects. Oof, and another company on top. That's really lucky. I'm gonna make the Gideon a 5/5, just basically like trying to build it up to be a 6/6 so it can attack through Torrential Gearhawks, and just working it up to have like more lethal threats essentially. Gideon is also really hard for the control decks to remove. It's like they need like Unholy Heat with Delirium, or to have like basically have like the Gearhawk up, or maybe there's just not many cards that actually do it. I guess the Seal Away is one of them that does it, huh? But I think at this point it's been he probably doesn't have it. I mean, I guess it's not guaranteed. He could actually still have the Seal Away, but he probably would have cast it on my Selfless Savior on the turn I tried to go for the combo with the like sacrificing the Ranger Captain. So I've identified the spot where he could cast it and he didn't, so he probably doesn't have it anymore. Anyway, this is a pretty neat spot here. So I have a lot of pressure down already, and I decide to test the waters by doing this first. If he just lets it resolve, I can just make my Trelasera indestructible. So he's gonna respond with the Gearhawk here. And he has a Justice Strike in the graveyard, so I'm expecting that he'll just go Justice Strike my Trelasera. He is safe to do this now, because I don't have a life gain creature anymore. So I don't threaten the combo, and you can actually just tap out like this. I'm thinking, okay, well, what do I want to do with my company? And I think I want to like dock in the target from the Justice Strike before I company, so that he can't change his mind and Justice Strike something else. I think this is like baloney. It is just not the correct way to do things. First of all, what could I hit that would make him not want to target my Trelasera anyway? Because it's the biggest thing. Attacks through Gearhawk, etc. And it can't kill Heliod or Gideon Blackblade anyway. Second of all, I should definitely let the Gearhawk resolve and like let it target the Justice Strike. But then I can collect the company, and if I hit Thalia or Ranger Captain, that just blanks the Torrential Gearhawk. Because he doesn't have any more mana up, so he won't be able to cast anything through Thalia. And Ranger Captain can obviously sacrifice itself. And if I also hit another White Devotion, that just means my Heliod is active. And then I have lethal damage through a Gearhawk 5/6 blocker, even though he gains 1 life. So, actually, I'm supposed to cast my Collector Company, not right now. Though right now would also be okay, but at least it's a little bit better to let him log in stuff. I don't have many Soul Wardens left anyway. It targets that, and I just let that resolve, and then now I cast my Collector Company. Get Ranger Captain and Voice. I realize now that I don't even realize that. When you have Ranger Captain and Trelasera coming in, like when you play Ranger Captain with a Trelasera in play. Oh, I guess I don't have any life gain triggers, so it's fine. Yeah. Normally you have to turn off automatically stack triggered abilities, so that you make sure that you search before you scry, because otherwise the game won't do that for you. Anyway, I get to search up a Soul Searcher effect here, so that's really nice. But obviously I could have just won the game right now with my Ranger Captain. And since both my things are indestructible, I just get to bash in here, put him down to 4 life, which again could have been 0 or like -1 if I'd attacked with Heliod earlier. So lesson learned, I guess. But we're still looking in a really good spot here, right? Like we have a commanding lead over the board. He's moving into a Magma Opus turn, but even then, it doesn't actually do anything. Like, I now have the combo in hand again, so I can just sacrifice my Ranger Captain if I want to. And if he... I was actually kind of scared that like, if he now goes attack with the Gearhawk on my Gideon, he would be able to Magma Opus, kill the Gideon, and stop my combo. But he can't actually do that, because in order to stop my combo, he has to cast the Magma Opus in my upkeep, tapping my lands. That's the only way he can stop the combo now. And then Gideon will be indestructible. So it's actually kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't type scenario for my opponent here. I guess the way they survive is yeah, just pass the turn, upkeep Magma Opus, kill my Ranger Captain, and tap 2 lands. And then they have a few blockers at least. And they just have to ignore Gideon. But then Gideon can just go -6 as well. I guess that's not really relevant, but... regardless, it's just not a good spot, like, no matter how you slice it. And if they only tap 1 land, I can top deck another land here, and still have the 4 mana necessary to win. So, he probably needs like 2 spells that aren't Magma Opus to win here. But it does seem a lot like it is actually a Magma Opus, especially with that attack with the Gear Hulk. And the tanking here on like the targets, mousing over my cards. Yeah, I'm really expecting that. There he is. So actually, I'm about to sacrifice my Ranger Captain because I think it's gonna, because I think it's dying to the Magma Opus. But no, he kills Gideon and the Voice instead, and just taps the Ranger Captain. But anyway, he's tapped out now. So like he's been playing around the Scurio. He kind of knows I have it, but he also realizes that he can't do anything to stop it anyway. Because most things just, like, even if it taps the lands on my turn, I can just set up, a really good attack, and he's in trouble against the Gideon and so on. And he's only at 5 life, right? Like, there's not much room to maneuver. Anyway, at this point, I'm not going to be able to attack with my Ranger Captain, but my plan is just to, like, load up the Scurio, and then upkeep, I'm going to use the Ranger Captain to sacrifice it, and that way, he won't be able to... he won't be able to anger up the gods. So I'm gonna go here and just speed this up a little bit. So yeah, this is gonna go on for a little while, but basically I'm just like trying to make sure that like no amount of lightning helixes and gear hulks and so on would be able to keep him alive here. I mean, I don't really need that much. That's 5 life with 2 blockers, but better be careful. And it's not like I'm running out of time. Like, I'm gonna win this game right now. Which is, by the way, super exciting, right? Like, beating Control 2-0. Like, 2 rounds in a row, actually. I also beat Niv Miss at 2-0 last round. And that makes me really, excited. And maybe, I didn't test the Control matchup very much. But maybe I was wrong in my assessment that this would be a bad matchup. I mean, I think it still is. Like, honestly, I got pretty lucky here and so on. But it might not be that bad. At least, like, I think I might be better against humans than I'm bad against Control, if that makes sense. And yeah, after the tournament, the data has kind of showed that that humans is like, I think Heliod went 78% against humans, but also did pretty badly against Control deck, as you might expect. But a lot of the Heliod decks were not running Ajani's Welcome and Ranger Captain, and I think those cards are really important for beating the interactive decks. Anyway, so yeah, now I just have a bunch of squirrels, and I can just attack. I'm just like checking and double checking and triple checking that there's no like cellular wreckage or any like nonsense like that. Because this is double deck list. Sorry, it is open deck list event, so I can see that. And yeah, I just get in for, well, a ton of damage. So I did make some misplays there. I could have pressured my advantages a little bit better with that one time where I didn't attack with Heliod. I think identifying Seal Away as a potential card is fine, and playing around it is fine, but I'm still playing around it by attacking with Heliod in that spot, and I didn't realize that. And second of all, just doing company in the right spot in response to Torrential Gear Hulk would give me a lot of outs to just win the game. But anyhow, yeah, we are now. This is really sick. I'm starting off my day with 3-0, beating 2 Control decks. Let's go. Right now my score in Historic is like 5-1. Yeah, 5-1 right now in Historic. However, my teammates' score is, well, in total they went like 1-8, I think, in Historic. My teammate went 0-3 and then missed day 2. The other one went 1-1 on day 1 and got a bye, so that doesn't count. And then went 0-4 on day 2. So these were the 3, like, those were the 2 other people other than me on my team that ended up playing Heliod, kind of because I was, pushing for thinking the deck was pretty good. And yeah, now I kind of regret that I lured them into the trap here, but at least I'm doing well, so that's something. Alright, but we still have one more Historic round left to go. And hoping that, no more Control decks, preferably beat some like, nice humans matchup, get some easy magic before we get into Standard. That's what I want to see. But yeah, so follow along for the next video here.